Thank you. Drug prevention, a constant battle for law enforcement, and the recent deaths of college students taking the drug Molly, forcing parents to have the drug conversation with their children. Well, a new program might help facilitate that discussion. It's called Face to Face, and it simulates the effects of drugs on a person over time. Joining us now to discuss, the Worcester County Sheriff, Lew Evangelidis. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Brett, it's great to be here.
Tell us about this program, because we're about to show folks what exactly this is, but tell us about the program overall.
Well, Brett, I learned when I became sheriff that 90% of the people who are incarcerated today in prisons across this country are addicted to drugs and alcohol. My thought was, as sheriff, and I've been a teacher as well as a prosecutor, why not bring that message to the young people of Worcester County? Because the inmates can't. They're in jail. So we start this presentation with an inmate sitting in a jail cell, and I go in and I talk to these young people, and I say to them, this man wishes he could be here with you today, but he can't. And many of my inmates sat in the very middle schools and high schools of Worcester County where I'm sheriff. And I tell them they wish they'd made different choices, and they always involve drugs and alcohol. There's no quicker path to having your life derailed into prison than getting addicted to drugs and alcohol. So I built a program to bring the message to young people. Think twice before you start down that road, because everyone thinks addictions happen to other people, and yet there are millions of other people sitting in jails in America today.
And this is making a big impact. If we can show some of what you've brought us as examples, especially for people that might be visual learners, you're taking a photo of someone before and then the after shot. How long typically is that shot right there that we're looking at?
We're talking a matter of, short months or a few years. People go from being attractive young people to being, obviously looking like a drug addict. And Brett, what I've noticed is that young people, I have teenagers, they care what they look like. So we came up with the idea of, at the end of this presentation, and I talk about Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan and the deaths of Whitney Houston and people like that. But at the end, if I can't convince them that you can go to prison, that you can have your life go off rails, I try to explain, you look at your appearance. Do you want to look like these people? Because no one tells you, Brett, when you drop that first Oxy or Perk 30, you could end up having a needle in your arm in 6 months. And we have an epidemic right now of heroin abuse because of the prescription drugs that are flooding our streets. A lot of young people don't think they're real drugs because they're prescription drugs, and they see them come in these nice bottles. The old days, Brett, when I grew up, it was BYOB, bring your own beer. Now it's BYOP, bring your own pills.
And part of that is what we've seen in recent weeks is Molly. That's obviously being the forefront of deaths that we've seen here around in New England. But there's also specific high celebrity examples that you can draw from that you're also teaching these kids about as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we try to stay very current. We've incorporated the new Miley Cyrus song, We Can't Stop, into our video because she, with a wink and a nod, has a line in the song that says, and most of you know it, I won't sing it, but, Dancing with Miley. But we all know, and she said later this summer, that it's Dancing with Molly. And ever since then, we've seen death after death after death of young people taking this Molly, not knowing what's in it. And that's what we, again, try to notify and spread the word throughout Worcester County, which is where I'm sheriff, that this drug is very dangerous. It's made in not laboratories, but made in bathrooms and in basements, and it's made overseas, and we don't know what's in it. And young people are taking it without thinking. So my message is think twice before you start down that road with drugs and alcohol, because you never know where you'll end up.
And it's a message that you have to constantly hammer home to every school that you go to visit. So how have you seen the difference in the response when you are putting some photos up there and letting kids know this is what the appearance is going to look like, this is how it's going to change?
Yeah, I mean, the response has been overwhelming. We're booked months in advance. We were just at North High in Worcester this week, or last week now. Over 60,000 students we've put this program in front of. We're booked very, very far into the future. But the response we see is the kids, some middle schoolers laugh at the right time. Some of them, they see photographs of people with a meth mouth or a hole in your mouth because of cocaine addiction, and they're a little bit grossed out. But this is a message you can't sugarcoat, Brett. This is a serious message about drugs and alcohol that can really lead to some horrific places for young people. So let's bring them that message, and let's do it in an entertaining way. I have videos of Eminem where he literally, he glorified drugs at one point in his career, and now he almost died because of that. And we show that video. And we show Lindsay Lohan, which everyone knows her life has gone awry. And everybody laughs when they see the pictures of her today. But we see more about Lindsay Lohan in mug shots and in courtrooms than we do in successful stories and movies. So we try to entertain the young people by getting that message. And they're very responsive. They love the program. That we hear from teachers, administrators, principals, and students that, wow, we really were listening, we paid attention, and you really made an impact.
And it's unique. You're not seeing this across the country. It's unique to what you're able to do here.
Brett, I created this program, really myself and some folks with me, but when I ran for this position, I said, I will dedicate myself to working with the young people, and it's really based around, in the end, about we take photographs of some students and teachers, and at the end we actually show them today and how they would look if they got addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's a powerful message. It's resonating, and I hope I can spread it throughout the state and to the country, because young people need to understand drugs, especially these prescription drugs and these drugs like Molly, they are dangerous, they have serious consequences, and you just got to think before you do these things.
Well, Lew, as you mentioned, if they're so concerned about your appearance at that age and always thinking about this, that it hits them right in the gut with some of the photos that you're able to show them. We certainly appreciate you coming in this morning. And
great to be with you, Brett.
success with everything as you set this program up and show thousands more, as I know you are.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.